Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming.
I'm RJ.
Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
We have some awesome experiences to share this week. I'm mostly going to be Destiny 2, but hey, let's get into it. Caleb, what have you been up this week?
Destiny 2, mostly. Played a little bit more Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. That was a lot of fun. Got to do a new haunt where we had a betrayer in our midst, which was pretty cool. No one knew who the betrayer was except the betrayer, so we had to hunt down clues and then actually use those clues to look at their tokens to see if they were the traitor or not. And it was quite funny because RJ was in that group with us, and he just started wailing on one of the other players. And we're like, which one's the traitor? Because he just started beating the shit out of this guy, and the other guy's just running away from him.
Yeah, he made a very compelling argument to where I was the traitor instead of him, but I wasn't entirely sure in the game rules if I was allowed to explicitly say, this guy's the traitor or not, because you know how betrayal can be kind of weird with some of its rules.
Yeah. But it was hilarious because we didn't actually know, so we just started wailing on that person until we could figure out who was who, and then we almost died because the traitor ended up being our friend Dakota, who was the dwarf and had like 1,000,000 might, 1,000,000 speed, and was basically, you couldn't hit him and you couldn't kill him. But luckily he had a thing where every damage he took mental damage, and we just whittled him down. Barely.
Yeah, I was playing the druid, and one of the cool things with Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is each of the characters has a special ability, which is new from the first, from Betrayal at the House on the Hill. And I was playing the druid, and I was able to turn myself into an animal and essentially get +2 of one stat and -1 of another stat. There's 4 different combinations, but I chose the one where I got +2 speed and -1, I think, knowledge or something, because it was insanely high, so I could just run around and start interrogating people. And my little mousy self ran up to the dwarf. I saw something I didn't like, and I drew first blood, or at least I attempted to.
With a paper cut at that, because you ended up hitting him with a book, and then proceeded to kill him with a book.
Yes, eventually, which I wasn't exactly sure how that worked out until it was explained afterwards, because I hadn't realized that he was just taking all mental damage. So I was just like, I'm just going to keep hitting you with this book, because if I hit you with might, I'm going to get stepped on. Because through a series of unfortunate events, my might was 1 above death, so I couldn't take a hit. It was terrifying.
Through a series of unfortunate events involving a deck of many things.
Yes, a deck of many things, and which I rolled 0. It was bad, but in the end, it worked out all right.
It was a lot of fun. I look forward to playing more of that. We also got to play a very brief episode of the Firefly, Legendary Encounters Firefly, and unfortunately we died extremely fast because the capital ship basically came out on turn 2 or 3 and just blew our ship to pieces, but hopefully we'll be able to get a little more of that in here pretty soon as well. Crimson, what have you been playing?
We'll see here. I have to think about it. Destiny 2.
Oh, Destiny 2?
Literally. Destiny
Really?
2.
That's funny. I wouldn't have expected that at all.
And when I'm not playing Destiny 2, I'm watching videos on Destiny 2.
And when you go to sleep, you're dreaming of Destiny 2.
Yep, and I'm listening to podcasts on Destiny 2. I think I have an issue.
Yes. Yes. The first step is admitting it.
Yeah. Well, to all those who don't know me, I played so much Diablo 2 in my life that literally the Blizzard North logo music makes me nauseous. And literally that and I feel this starting to go that way. Now, it really depends on if they keep up with content or not. If we're done, I got 2 level 20s or, power level up there. If I reach that and then there's just nothing to do, then it's going to fall off. And that's going to be on Bungie to make sure that there's interesting stuff to do. And on that note, the expansions are coming out already. Jeez. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to have that much fall off. Hopefully the expansions aren't, here's a raid, here's a strike, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all the information that I've seen so far is that we're getting a new strike, maybe a new strike, I know a new raid, and a new planet, but it takes like an hour to completely finish a planet. So I'm not really sure, like, if they make it a big one, like the EDZ is, where, there's several zones and a ton of public events and a ton of quests.
You mean not like
Titan, where there's 2 fucking spawn points and 2 public events.
I don't raid, and actually I would raid. In fact, if you guys are out there and you hear the sound of my voice and you want to play, just catch us in game, catch me on Battle.net. Jump onto our Discord. That's your first step. Jump onto discord.mediocregamers.com. Jump into the Discord, say, hey, I want to join the clan. I want to, play some Destiny 2 with you guys. Great. We will get you all the information. We'll get you in. I mean, we need clan members. The goal is to focus on the guys who want to do PvP, to focus on Trials of the Nine, and for the guys who want to do raid, to focus on some raiding. Nice thing about these raids is they're not World of Warcraft raids, which is nice. It's not going to be for freaking 10-hour slogfest. But yeah, definitely jump in there, hit us up, let us know. We want more people to play with. We always got characters we're leveling. There's always things we can be doing, and if you need some help, let me know, man. I'll jump on my high level character. I'll run with you through storyline missions if you need to. Anything, just let us know. I mean, that's huge. We're here to be a community and to talk with you guys too, and so just hit us up. We'll be there. We'll be in chat. We'll help you out however we can.
Yeah, and I can personally attest to that Crimson is an excellent teacher. Like, you've shown me a bunch of stuff and helped out with some of the technical things like we discussed last week, and it's been awesome as I've been able to work my way through and notice a bunch of these things, and it's like, oh, that's how this works. Got it. So, yeah.
And there's a lot of weird things in there like that, I mean, now some people like to min-max, some people don't. I'm not really a min-maxer, but yes, I did create a second character, run them through, but it gave me the opportunity to change my character, features and stuff. Because I chose a human, because I always choose a human, and I did not enjoy the human look in this game, and I really wanted to try out those XOs, the EXOs. They look awesome. And so I remade my character. Granted, that did give me the advantage of redoing all the storylines, getting all the, engrams and stuff. But there's just so many little nuances, like, don't turn in these things right away, save them for later, that you might not have realized until you did it, and you're like, oh, well, shoot, I wish I had saved those.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also noticed that with a couple other games that I've played, like For Honor and League of Legends, where you don't know this until somebody tells you, but you should hold on to certain things until later to get the most effect out of it.
So that brings me to what you've been playing.
Yeah, well, other than Destiny 2 with you guys, I've been playing a little bit of For Honor, or at least trying to get back into it. Like I mentioned last week, Season 3 is over, and the Knights faction have won the faction war. And we have an announcement for Season 4, which is titled Order and Havoc. And this season's going to be, it looks like they've got some pretty cool stuff on the lineup. There is a new champion for the Vikings and for the Samurai. For the Vikings, there's a Shaman, and for the Samurai, an Orimuchi. I probably butchered that one, because they did not... yeah, it's... They didn't give a printed ditty in the video, so all I'm going off is audio. But outside of that, I don't really have too much information of how the champions are going to play. But that should be coming up pretty soon in the next couple days. The release date for this new content is going to be November 14th for season pass holders, and then November 21st for non-season pass holders. And the cool thing is this brings the total playable champion count for each faction to 6. So you can pick a wide variety of champions to do any of the different game modes: 1-on-1s, 2v2s, 4-on-4s. Speaking of 4-on-4s, they have a new game mode, which is called Tribute. Basically, from the description, it sounds like the For Honor version of Capture the Flag. But this is going to be interesting when you have 4 people in a melee against each other, and one person has to pick the flag up and move it, which means you're going to have to work as a team. Move the flag forward or to wherever you're supposed to be, put it down, defend yourself, kill the other team, pick it up, and move on. So it seems different. It seems really cool. So that's something that they're introducing to change it up a bit. They're also adding for the domination game mode. They're starting to introduce ranked play, and this takes into account your personal contributions to the team as well as how the team did altogether. So kind of the best of both worlds there. We're getting 2 new maps. Those both look pretty interesting. Don't have too many details about those. And then finally, just some general gameplay improvements. They're going to be adding some more executions, which the way that executions work in For Honor, if you finish somebody off with a heavy attack, you have the option to do an execute, and that will give you some additional health back to your character, as well as style points for how you put somebody down. So that's pretty cool, giving you more options for that. They're adding a little bit more interaction with the faction war. They're going to be showing targeted hot zones where people are deploying their war assets across the map, and that's kind of pretty much a good overview from the video that I watched. So it's starting to diversify a bit, and it's starting to look really fresh again. I played one game today, and oh boy, I was definitely shaking off a lot of rust. It was rough. I might have to go get a tetanus shot. It was pretty bad. So, yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there. Be like, wow, I like if I jumped into 7 Days to Die, man, I'd probably die in the day one just because it's been a while.
The biggest problem will be, when you're sprinting and you try to hit control to slide, because we've been playing so much fucking Destiny.
Yep.
Or we're trying to hit F to pop our super, or G to throw our grenades, and we're like, nope, none of this works.
Yep. So the way you toggle between targets in For Honor is the control key, and I forgot about that, and I'm like, how do I switch to this guy who's up in my face? Oh, whoops, I'm dead. Oh well. Damn. Yeah. It's been an adjustment. Definitely, especially because of For Honor's such unique gameplay. So it'll take me a few games to shake off all the rust and get back into a groove. But I'm definitely excited with the new champions and some of the new content. I'm not as excited about the Shaman as I was the Highlander, but I'm definitely willing to give it a go. So Vikings for life. Hopefully we can win another faction war besides the first one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, check out For Honor if that is your fancy. Just changing it up. It's a great time to get into it or get back into it. So there we go.
Awesome.
You were gonna say Destiny there, weren't you?
Did I say Destiny?
Yeah. You almost did. You said For Honor.
Yep.
I was like, yep, I know that feeling. I was talking about freaking BlizzCon and Hearthstone, and the entire time I kept using Destiny terms, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta stop this.
Flanker, you might have a problem.
Like, when you're playing Overwatch, so every time that you level, you get an engrams, and a loot box. That sort of thing.
Yep. Well, now, you all are probably guessing our main topic today is going to be Destiny, but we actually got two. First one's going to be BlizzCon.
Woo, woo.
BlizzCon is huge. I mean, we all love Blizzard games. We, for the most part, love Blizzard in general, and technically Destiny is going through my Blizzard launcher, so I guess, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so there was some pretty big announcements at BlizzCon this year. I'm going to go through just the one that's important to me, because I don't play some of the other games, but I do play Hearthstone. So I do have a little bit of extra knowledge on Hearthstone here. New set coming out. And if you haven't watched that video, go watch the video. It's a music video. It is amazing. I love it when they do the singing stuff. It's just fun, good humor. It's pretty fun. Some of the key points of the set is something that we've all been waiting for. I know Caleb's been waiting for forever. Some single-player content. That way it's not just all log in, play against another person, lose, play against another person, lose, the dungeon run. Now, this is going to be interesting. What it's going to do, first off, it's free. No gold, no dust, no money. Just jump into the dungeon run. You're going to choose a hero. You're going to get 10 cards for that hero. And you're going to face against 14, 15 bosses. Every time you beat them, you're going to get a new card. If you lose, your deck goes back to the 10 cards. I don't know what the rewards are going to be for it. Unfortunately, I wasn't at BlizzCon, so I could not play this on the show floor, and I haven't seen any videos come out with somebody doing a full run. But that's the wonderful thing about BlizzCon, is we get to do all the speculating with some of these new things that are coming out. Now, Caleb, does this sound like something that you would even be interested in loading Hearthstone again for?
I would, and I've been keeping it up to date, at least. Like, I keep updating it whenever it pops up, so I don't know. Hearthstone is tough for me because it's such a single-dimensional game. It's not necessarily just jumping in and losing all the time, because I win a good amount. Especially, in the earlier ranks, it's fairly easy. And I have a pretty...
Well, Mr. Platinum.
Yeah, that would be RJ.
Ha ha ha.
But
ha ha.
Never not gonna be good. Never not gonna be good. Anyway, the single player content definitely intrigues me. I will definitely log in for that when it goes live and play it. Hopefully it will be free content. We know how Blizzard loves their microtransactions. But if it is free content that they release, if it is single player that actually gives you rewards, I'm going to be interested in it, because I'm always interested in anything that I can kind of diversify in. If I can go play against other people, and then I can go play single player content when I get burned out. And that's been one of the biggest problems with Hearthstone, and I think Crimson has relatively the same feeling of, next season started, the next month started, cool, I played like 10 games, got to 20, so I get the card back, and now I don't want to play it for another month. It's boring. It is a boring game.
Yeah, I agree. Hell, I didn't even get the Halloween card back because I just didn't even log in.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I personally got burnt out on Hearthstone when I first tried to get into it a couple years ago, and it just didn't work out well for me, and I really never looked back of getting into it, but that's where Eternal fills the void. So, yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah, so I think the question that they're trying to ask is, can they compete with Eternal now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't think they can.
I honestly
not in.
I honestly don't think so
either. Yeah, in comparison, I feel like Eternal just gives their players so much more free stuff, and it's a game that you have a lot more options in. Again, you have single player, and you have multiple ways to play single player and multiple ways to play against other people. I think that really rings true to players more than how Hearthstone does their model.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I just totally lost my train of thought. That's great. Yeah.
Well, real quick then, hopefully you'll remember what you're thinking of, but I feel like the single player content now, whether it is trying to compete with Eternal or other new card games that are coming out, I feel like it's just too little too late. Hearthstone's been around for a good long while now, and it has not evolved. Like, the sets evolve, but the actual game itself hasn't. And now that it is, it's like we've already kind of moved on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The point that I just remembered that I was going to say is some mathematician who enjoys playing games sat down and ran the numbers of the amount of money that you have to play, or money you have to pay, and in a separate topic, the amount of, air quotes, free stuff that you get when comparing Hearthstone to Eternal. And his conclusion was, by the narrowest of margins, you get more free stuff by playing Eternal than you do in Hearthstone. I don't remember any of the specifics, but that is out there. And I haven't played Hearthstone recently, but I'm going to continue to blow this horn of the amount of free stuff that you get from playing Eternal is off the charts. Like, I have not been disappointed with that game. Even if I haven't played it in a couple weeks, I can play it on my phone, and I can get my one win of the day, play a random game against somebody, work on a quest, what have you. So, to me personally, Eternal's my card game, my digital card game.
Yeah, there's no contest in the differences between what Hearthstone gives you and what Eternal gives you. It really just comes down to what kind of playstyle do you like. Eternal's much more Magic light versus Hearthstone is more Pokemon like.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's more comical, more. I mean, it is entertaining. I love Hearthstone. I mean, I find the stuff to be fun and entertaining, and it does, but it doesn't scratch the same itch that like Magic the Gathering does, or L5R, or Eternal does, because it's much more of a base game like that. But realistically, Hearthstone is fun on the go in a quick match. It is not something that I could sit there and just play 6 hours of.
I agree. It's definitely not a bad game. It's just that they're trying to play catch up with the market now, with launching single player content and trying to evolve the game now. And I think that just other games that are newer are coming up with these new and innovative ways of doing online digital card games, and Hearthstone just hasn't reached that point, so they're trying to play catch up. So I definitely look forward to seeing the single player content. I definitely look forward to seeing what they do, because Blizzard, I've had my qualms with them before. They do deliver. I have to give them that. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with this new set and this new single player stuff.
And definitely watch that video, guys. Now, some more news that came out.
Yeah.
Overwatch. And I'm going to let Caleb take this one over because he's our Overwatch guy.
We have a new champion coming out named Moira. She seems just ridiculously overpowered. I don't even know any other way to put it. But she is basically a mad scientist for Talon, which are the antagonists. And she is a support hero that, honestly, feels a lot like Zenyatta and Symmetra combined. It's really weird. So it looks like her left click is going to be where she does a healing beam, almost like Mercy. Her right click is going to be a damaging beam that is going to be similar to Symmetra. The difference being is that when she does damage with her damaging beam, she actually heals herself for the damage dealt, so she actually drains the life, which seems really ridiculous. And her damage output from the videos that I've seen from BlizzCon is kind of nuts. She also has a biotic orb that she can change one way or another, whether it heals everyone in the area, or if it damages everyone in the area. She also has a teleport that looks like it's reminiscent of almost like Tracer and Reaper. And then her ultimate is just batshit insane. She channels a giant long-range beam that heals all allies and damages all enemies while bypassing all barriers. So it goes through Reinhardt's shield, it goes through any of the bubbles. What the fuck?
Kind of similar to Hanzo's ult?
Yeah. Except it is a channeled... it's basically a Kamehameha. She does a giant blast that is channeled, and it heals everyone, and all your people, damages all the enemy people. And since it pierces and goes through everyone and barriers, if you're in a team fight and you're in the back, you just blast that and you win that team fight. Like, the fact that all of your guys are getting healed and all of their guys are taking damage, plus your team is overpowering them, what the hell?
Interesting. That's also really good on certain maps. Like, only one that comes to mind right now is Route 66 at the very beginning, where you basically are on Route 66 on the side of a cliff. You don't really have that much wiggle room, and if you catch them at the right time, man, you can swing that fight real hard.
Yeah. She definitely seems like she's going to be extremely versatile, and I think that the BlizzCon videos that we've been seeing, we're really seeing her in the, alpha and beta stages. They're testing the damage. I feel like she's not going to be as overpowered as she seems right now, which will be good, because while Doomfist kind of fell on his face and can be really good, but generally isn't, I feel like the Moira is always going to be a solid pick, because she is extremely versatile. We also have a new map coming out. I haven't seen any info on it. I haven't caught up on BlizzCon yet. I've just been seeing bits and pieces. But we do have a new map coming out with Moira, and also we had a new animated short, which is the Reinhardt origin story, and it is incredible. I highly recommend watching it.
Yeah, it's a tearjerker. I watched it last night, and I was like, "Aww."
They all are. That's the damn problem. Blizzard knows how to pull on the heartstrings. All I'm wondering is why the hell we do not have an Overwatch animated film from Blizzard. Also, a Warcraft animated film from Blizzard. Not the movie that we got. The people who actually do the trailers.
Because it supposedly takes them almost a year to make a 5-minute clip.
In that year of making that time, they could do a little bit more, do maybe a 30-minute clip, and then make billions of dollars off of it.
Yeah, I after seeing some of these, yeah, I would, especially that we'll save World of Warcraft for a little later. We still have Heroes and a couple other ones to go through, but okay.
StarCraft 2, I think, is next on the list. RJ?
Yeah, there's some exciting news with good lord, okay. StarCraft 2. There we go. Got their team. I almost said.
So with Destiny 2.
Yep.
We've got
Warcraft 2, Destiny 3, World of Warcraft 1. I don't know. Just all these numbers. Okay. For the record, StarCraft 2. Big announcement. They are moving to a free-to-play, I guess, business model is what we can call it. So starting on November 14th, you can play, essentially, here's the Spark Notes, you can play all of StarCraft's 2 multiplayer, every co-op commander, and the entire first campaign in the first player story for free. That's huge. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the other 2 campaigns will come at a later date.
Yep. As of right now, you can pay, I believe, hold on, I have the article right here. You can pay $14.99 for them individually, Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void, or as a bundle for $39.99. And if you do the bundle, I believe you get the Nova Covert Ops set in there as well. Yep. That's quite a change, considering for the past 7+ years, you've had to pay for the game, for Wings of Liberty and all of the expansions, and this is quite a change. I think it's a bold statement, and quite honestly, a huge paradigm shift. It's crazy. What do you guys think?
I'm actually really excited about this because I actually have several people that I know who have wanted to try StarCraft 2 but haven't been able to because they just haven't really felt like buying into an RTS that they don't know if they're going to like yet or not.
I also think that there's a big thing to think about coming in the future, too. With this move with StarCraft 2, what can we expect with maybe Warcraft 4 coming out? They of course did not give us any information on Warcraft 4 because that's, it's Half-Life 3, but whatever. But I could definitely see them trying this on StarCraft and then using this kind of free-to-play build a world, build a game into Warcraft 4. They just make more money off microtransactions, of course, and we're not getting into microtransactions. We will save that for a rainy day, but I definitely see this going forward into the next RTS.
Yeah, and this actually really reminded me of some other games that have been doing this that I've been seeing lately, and this may be the route that they're going, and I feel like this may actually be the better option if they choose to do this. And that is World of Warcraft does this, Guild Wars 2 has done this, and a few others where they go, okay, we release the base game, you buy it for $40, right? Then, a year later, or 2 years later, they release an expansion. Well, if you buy that expansion, it also includes the base game. Or by the time they release that expansion, it makes the base game free to play, and then you buy that expansion, so the people who come in on the expansion are not having to buy the base game and the expansion. And World of Warcraft does that, of course, by saying every time that they release a new expansion, the old expansions are included in the base game.
Yeah, could you imagine them coming out saying Warcraft 4 comes out, and it's free. You get a 10-hour long or 9-hour long campaign with just the storyline following, maybe, intersecting between Horde and Alliance, a couple missions each, and then drops on a cliffhanger. You have a full competitive online, ladder system and all that stuff. You have the use map settings, and you have a co-op, because I do believe they will continue with co-op even into Warcraft 4,
I would actually be,
which I think would be amazing.
Super excited for co-op Warcraft.
Yeah, so would I. And then, in 6 months later, they drop another, not a full campaign, but maybe a like the Nova Chronicles. It costs $5-10. It's maybe 3, 4, 5 hours long, and it continues the story into another cliffhanger, and then almost like a comic book, like a graphic novel series, where you're like every 3 months you get another piece of the story, and you go out and you spend $12 for it or whatever. But all the online stuff, all the competitive stuff is already built into that free base game. I think that would be great. I would totally play.
Yeah, I think that's they've really kind of cornered, or I guess made their stamp on the market with that, because StarCraft 2 is still played multiplayer, or online play is still super competitive. They still have Warcraft 3 tournaments, one-on-ones, that I've watched videos of, and that are super high-level professional play. Those are still out there. So I think this is an interesting move, an interesting experiment. I'm really curious to see what they do in the future, and it's going to be awesome. And one thing that I did notice in this article, they are helping those folks out who have been loyal customers since day one, like myself. And here we go. For those of you who have already purchased any of the 3 campaigns as of October the 31st, we'll be sending you a small thank you in the form of an exclusive ghost skin, as well as 3 new portraits. So if you've paid in to play this game in the past, you're going to walk away with it almost seems like it's going to be an exclusive little trinket. So some sort of compensation on that, and it sounds pretty cool. So there you have it.
Which they don't have to do for a 7-year-old game, but it's nice that they're doing it.
So,
because if you're still playing this game and you paid into it 7 years ago, you've got your money's worth. Trust me.
I mean, I bought into it this year and I got my fucking money's worth. I love StarCraft 2. And I'm not a big RTS person, so when I say I actually love this game, it really says a lot.
Yep, definitely. Go ahead.
No.
You got it. Nope, you got it. Nope. No.
So next announcement is we have World of Warcraft.
Yeah, speaking of games that we bought into on day one, November 24th, 2006, or 2004, I don't know who that would be, but World of Warcraft, they released their new expansion. It looks epic. It brings us back to the fight, the real fight in this game. Not against Arthas, not against freaking, candy-ass elves. No, the fight between the Alliance and the Horde. Yeah.
It is called Battle for Azeroth.
And let's just make this clear. No one in the Alliance says, "For the Alliance." That's stupid. We say, "For the King" or "For Lordaeron." Remember Lordaeron. We don't say "For the Alliance." That's a Horde thing.
I think it was done purely for symmetry. It is called Battle for Azeroth, and the announcement trailer for it is incredible. It is some of the best animation.
They should just change the name of that announcement trailer to "For the King."
So anyway, some of the best animation I have seen coming out of Blizzard or any other studio. It is fantastic. It is great on both sides because it shows the Horde and the Alliance just going at each other in a great cinematic. I definitely highly recommend checking it out, and I know that once this comes out, I will definitely be reactivating. Unfortunately, I believe that me and Crimson will be on opposite sides of that war.
Anybody who knows us knows very particular that I am extremely alliance-based, and Caleb is extremely Horde-based.
I gotta fight for Sylvanas. She's my babe.
So, for somebody who hasn't played this game before, like myself, I don't know, this preview trailer kind of, it definitely piqued my interest. It got me interested.
Is it making you go, maybe I'll check this game out for like a month?
Maybe.
Here's my pro tip. Greymane is awesome.
Also,
you are actually lying. I know that you are lying because you have said you don't like Greymane. We're not getting into the fucking Greymane argument.
I do love Worgans. I love Worgans, but yeah, Greymane's
He's a
kind
sack of shit.
So I see both of you two are on two different sides of the coin. So if I jump in, am I going to be breaking any friendships?
You're gonna have to choose.
If you jump in
between smelly orcs and amazing humans that shoot magic. Yeah.
You're going to get to choose between the undead, the blood elves, and the orcs, or the white supremacists that is the Alliance.
Oh boy.
Hey, it's called the Alliance, which means we have so many more in our than just, the humans. We have the awesome elves, the old original elves. And we have the dwarves, and we have the new dark iron dwarves that you can play as. Yeah, I mean, just the Alliance is where it's man.
You
For
have
the
a bunch
king!
of short people and white supremacists. That's great. That's great. I'm not.
For the king!
Yeah, King's great. King's dead, thanks to your buddy Greymane, by the way. The real king.
Because Sylvanas left his bitch ass.
Yeah.
To save some smelly troll sweat.
I would love to see Anduin or Greymane actually go up against Sylvanas.
No.
You
can check it out in this. You can check it out in the cinematic. They're almost get there. So
they're almost there.
Yep,
almost there.
That's what Blizzard has been working on for the past year for their animated shorts. Except this one is a 7-minute spoiler or preview trailer, what have you, for Battle for Azeroth. Yep. So there you go.
Yeah. So
the light shall always overcome the dead.
Yeah, that's great. Who said that? Your buddy Greymane? Did he steal it from somebody who was actually intelligent and didn't fucking let his king die? Now, do you know what? Now, speaking of letting kings die, you know what game got no fucking press at BlizzCon?
Heroes of the Storm.
No.
It starts with
what's that other game?
Oh,
they have other.
You bought it for me earlier.
Was it
Destiny 2?
I remember 3 in it.
Lost Vikings?
Oh my. Was it?
Oh, wait. Lost Vikings got as
Lost
much.
Vikings. Yeah.
As much news.
Has had more information. Poor Diablo. Such the redheaded stepchild of Blizzard.
Yep. So, what do we have for Diablo 3? Season 12. That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
That's
it.
Yeah, that's
so lackluster.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so glad that they announced that Season 12 was actually coming out, because I literally thought Diablo was dead.
Well,
I guess not. Yay, rejoice for the king.
I haven't played Diablo 3 in a couple of seasons now. Like, actively played for a couple of seasons. So,
yeah,
it's like, woo, Season 12's coming out. Nobody gives a shit, because it's grind for the same shit and then lose it all. Grind for the same shit and lose it all. It's fun, but it never changes. Yeah, it is the exact same shit. So, No.
Talk about a game that needs microtransactions.
Talk about a game that just needs a new fucking expansion. Anything. It's great when, we got the Necromancer and it's like, yay, we get to take a new class through the same fucking shit. Woo! But there is one other game that did get some press, and I am extremely excited about this. Heroes of the Storm. Boom!
There it is. Got him, coach.
Finally!
Yeah, Heroes got a ton of information drop.
Finally! Alexstrasza is coming to the Nexus. I cannot even explain how excited I am about this. So I'm not gonna. Because there's no words.
Oh, so you're all about the life.
I am!
Who's totally an alliance.
Okay, so...
I mean, she's a blood elf, and in Ice Crown, you talk to her on both sides, so she's neutral?
Yeah, but she thinks orcs are smart too.
Okay, so I think you answered my question. Which of the Blizzard universes is she from?
She's from WoW.
From WoW.
Okay, well that's definitely interesting, considering in their spoiler trailer, gosh, I need to find a word for that.
Announcement
trailer, thank you.
Yes.
It was a battle between Alexstrasza and Hanzo from the Overwatch universe. So we're
Well,
so we're
what,
getting not one, but we're getting 2 new champions very soon. So that's going to be exciting.
Both dragons.
The name of the trailer was called the Twin Dragons, because Hanzo's a dragon and so is Alexstrasza.
Indeed. And also, Hanzo will be coming out after Alexstrasza, which will be quite awesome.
And also, Hanzo whooped her ass.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, a little bit, actually.
A little bit.
She did not, she did not expect the voice line that makes everyone crap their pants in Overwatch.
What line is that?
I don't even know how he pronounces it exactly.
I
hear it.
Something like that?
Close.
Thank you. I needed that. I needed
Close?
that. Thank
Sorry.
you.
We should have just got the voice clip and just played it. But we're bad at this, and that's okay.
Well, we're only mediocre.
There you go. What was there any other news for Heroes of the Storm?
I don't think so. That's really the only 2 that the 2 new champions. I think that was it, unless I missed something. But I'm sure we'll get.
That's all I saw.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get possibly we might get a new map. I don't know. I mean, we got Volskaya Foundry just recently, so I don't think it would be out of the question. But for right now, the new hotness is going to be these 2 new champions. So there you go.
Specifically, one of them when talking about the hotness.
I hate to go back a little bit, but I did remember one other thing about the World of Warcraft stuff. And I think this is going to mainly pertain to somebody like RJ and maybe even you, Caleb. They're redoing the leveling system.
Okay.
So you remember leveling up, in the old world or whatever, and you'd go to a zone and it says like 1 to 10, and you'd get 10 quests in and you'd be level 14.
Yeah.
And you'd have to stop playing that zone. You couldn't finish the storyline in that zone.
Not without a detriment, because then you're just not getting XP.
Right. So they have decided to make the zone's level range much, much higher, like 1 to 25, 1 to 30. And they're not doing full scaling like some other games are doing, but it's very similar. So they're going to have a cap. So say your newbie area, it's 1 to 30. So if you do go above 30, which you shouldn't, because you should be able to complete all the quests in that zone, finish the storyline before 30. But it also means that, say you're level 60 and you go back to that zone, you're still going to be super powerful, which they wanted to keep that aspect that, you know, high-level characters going back to an early zone, you know, it's... They can't just farm it for higher-level items and stuff like that because it scales with them. This also will pertain to dungeons. So, like the Wailing Caverns, which is like level 18 to 23 or something like that, will now be, you know, level 10 to 40. What they're hoping will do is that will give you an access to more characters in the queue, so that way the queues won't take as long for people who want to level just doing dungeons. It should be much easier to level just doing dungeons now. They are also going back through Wrath of the Lich King and Outland, and they are going to be making those levels 60 to 80. So, say you really like Wrath of the Lich King. Well, I do. I find the zones beautiful and stuff. You can actually start there, and you could skip, you know, the entire Outland content, and you could just go to Wrath of the Lich King and level to 80 there. And then, at that point, then you go on to your progression through, you know, Mist of Pandaria and all those other ones. I really, really enjoy that. I think that is a great way for them to do it. Allow leveling to the point where you can actually get the damn story. And then it also makes it that way. So say you want to level 2 characters. This is the big one. You want to level 2 characters. Well, the problem is you did the same damn story on both characters. Well, now you could, you know, go to Outland with one character and go to Northrend with the other, and have completely different experiences. And it won't feel as grindy. You know, it's not, oh, we'll go do Outland, then go straight to Northrend. It'll allow that split a little bit. I think this will help a lot of newer characters, somebody like RJ, who, you know, wants to get in and wants to get a little bit of the story, but, you know, doesn't want to have to play through half a zone and be like, oh, I out-leveled it. If I continue with the story, I don't get anything for it. Like Silver Pine Forest. Holy fuck nuts. Yep. You could out-level Silver Pine Forest within 1/3 of the freaking quest, and then you can't finish the storyline. It's impossible to finish the storyline and still get XP for the final story.
That I did notice that a lot while I was playing and leveling up, like my paladin and stuff like that. And of course, basically once I hit level 10, I try to just go straight through dungeons because that seems to be the quickest way. But this opens up a lot more possibilities because I always liked questing. It just, again, I never got the full story. I had to leave the zone early, especially if you're using heirloom gear, which gives you a whole bunch of extra experience, so you end up out-leveling it even faster, and that was always an issue. I didn't like questing because I would either out-level the zone, or it was always the same. And so I think this is definitely going to be a big boost for World of Warcraft, something that is needed because this game is an old game. It still holds up. It is still a fantastic game, but it does need to evolve. Similar to Hearthstone and some of the other Blizzard games, and I'm glad that they really are trying to bring all of these games up into the forefront and evolve them into kind of their modern-day counterparts with Hearthstone and StarCraft 2 and now WoW, it looks like. But not Diablo. Definitely not Diablo. But I'm pretty excited about that.
Somebody has to get left behind, unfortunately.
Yep.
Now, I just want to thank everybody for coming to this episode. Make sure you check out our Destiny podcast later.
Yep.
Oh, let's get on to the meat of the podcast, right? Yeah. We're at an hour.
Yeah, let's try to, I don't want to say rush this, but concise would be good at this point.
Yeah, let's talk some Destiny. Oh man, where to begin? I will let you guys go first because you guys, RJ just finished leveling his first character, and you're working on your second character. And so, what are the experiences that you guys are seeing in the game?
RJ, why don't you go?
Okay. Well, I've really just been working my way through it with you guys. I ended up playing a warlock to begin with, and it's been a lot of fun. I haven't done the OP build that you have talked about, and I am assuming that you will probably talk about here in a minute. But I've just been learning the mechanics, and really this first playthrough for me was taking in the story, and it's been an awesome story. It's been an awesome adventure so far, and just playing it co-op with you guys has been great. Because we have such conflicting schedules, the way the game is designed, not everybody really has to be there at the same time to progress together. We can be a couple levels apart, and we can still do what we need to do. So that has been quite refreshing to me in terms of the gameplay experience. The kind of the different mechanics and the collectibles that you can find have been awesome and been kind of different. Like, I haven't like when you wander around and you find zone tokens. I mean, those are just a specific type of collectible, but you can turn them in to get engrams later in the game. That's pretty cool because it feels like you're kind of banking them up and saving them for later, which is pretty cool. And I just really kind of like the looting system. It's not as heavy and detail oriented, at least at the lower levels, compared to something like the Borderlands franchise. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. And yeah, that's kind of what I have on this for this first stab at it. I'm still learning a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the finer details that Crimson's going to talk about here in a minute. But one of the cool things that I found, I was in the farm, and there's this random soccer ball that just drops in the middle of a little field. And I just wandered over there, and some other dude was sitting there looking at his menu, and I started to kick the ball around. Well, then this other dude came out of his menu, and then we just started playing a game of one-on-one soccer. Just at random. No voice chat or anything. We just started playing a game. That was fun. Just something a little quirky on the side, but that was an awesome experience.
That's super cool. And we're definitely glad that you're liking it. Especially because we all started with different characters, so I'm kind of happy that you got the Warlock, because it seems like that's more your playstyle.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm really excited to give this Hunter a go, just to be different and see the storyline again. And I'm looking forward to that. I think right now, really the only negative gripes that I have is I just randomly get kicked for no damn reason. And it's kind of irritating, especially when I get to almost to the end of a mission, and then you guys have to sit there and wait for me to load back in so I don't miss anything, or if I'm by myself, then I just have to do the whole thing over again. That's to me is really irritating. So I hope that they get those kinks worked out in the future.
Yeah, and I noticed that too on my end of it'll randomly pop up a message while I'm in the middle of something and say, you have to restart Destiny 2. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. I understand that they're having server problems because every time that a company comes out with a new game, Blizzard has been really bad about this. Hey, we're going to come out with a new game, and then we're not going to put in enough servers to actually hold the load. And I know it's hard to judge how many people are going to play a game, so they don't want to overinvest in servers and blah, 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 whatever. But it's now been, I'm sorry, 3 weeks now? And we're still having server issues?
Yeah, especially it's been like 3 weeks for PC and even longer for consoles. So, I don't know. if they had consoles as any sort of demographic, they could have at least estimated a little bit better. But I don't know. It seemed to me every game has this sort of problem, and it always gets sorted out, hopefully, fairly quickly. Although, can't really say the same for Honor. There's still a couple server issues running around. But we're talking about Destiny 2, so we'll leave that at that.
Yeah, and it hasn't been super prevalent, but it does happen. It happens often enough for it to be annoying.
Yeah.
Like last night, after you guys were gone, I actually jumped in to several public events in Destiny 2, and 4 in a row, we had people there. We made them heroic, and the boss or the event was about 10 seconds from ending, and I would get kicked. And I would load back in, I would do another public event, we would make it heroic, I would get to the end, I would get kicked. It was so fucking frustrating. And then I would load back in sometimes, and it would be like, oh, there's literally not a single human being here. So now I can't really do the event. Specifically, I can't make it heroic. And then it's just like, is it worth doing by myself and just dying over and over and respawning and blah blah blah. So I've been noticing a lot of server issues like that. The kicking every so often, specifically when anything gets hairy or you get to the end of some sort of event or content, storyline mission, or, strike, or anything like that, and it's really frustrating, especially if you're doing it by yourself, because you can't just jump right back into the same instance with your team. And also, there's times when you load in and there's literally no one around. So, I don't know what's going on with that, why the areas aren't being populated, why we're getting kicked all the time, because even Crimson, who has really great internet, has been getting kicked too.
Yeah. Since we're talking about some things we dislike about, I mean, I could sit here and talk for another hour about how much I like this game and all the things I like about it, but there are some things that they need to fix, and they need to do it soon. First one is, fucking holy mother goddamn sons of bitches, give me general chat. Please, for the love of all that is holy and sacred in this world, give me general chat.
Give me fucking clan chat. Why are there
no
clan?
Shit. Oh, there is clan chat.
Oh, is there?
But you have to go to the Bungie website. Yeah, here, it's on the website. In fact, I'm looking at the chat right now for the website, but you have to go through the website. You can't do it in-game.
So you're telling me that I have to open my browser, go to the Bungie website, log in, and to be able to talk to my clan in chat while playing a game that doesn't like being alt-tabbed.
Yeah. Or no, what you need to do is you need to get an iPhone or an Android and download the companion app.
There's a companion app?
Yes.
That's where all the missing features
Oh
are.
my god. Is there matchmaking in there?
You can post on there looking for fire team for Trials of the Nine. And oh look, somebody can message you and you could hit join and it will automatically create a group in-game for you. But you have to do it through the companion app.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fuck off.
That's just goddamn stupid. I'm sorry. That's just stupid.
Oh, you want to do loadouts? Guess what? Companion app.
Really?
Yeah, I
really?
just broke Caleb.
This is...
You want to do gear changes? You can change them in the companion app.
I'm all for companion apps, but when they're not part of an essential part of the game, like any sort of FPS, communication is huge, especially with such a limited field of view. Now, for other games like, I guess, the Arkham Horror LCG is the only other one that comes to my mind, but there's a companion app that has the quests in there and how you set up the chaos bag and all that. Like, those are fine. They're while you can play the game without it, it's still fine. It helps you. It's there for convenience sake. This, on the other hand, is just highly inconvenient.
Yeah, and specifically the fact that they had... this is what gets me. This is really what rubs me the wrong way. Because the initial idea that we had and that we had discussed before was that, they just haven't implemented it. They didn't have that sort of thing set up yet. Maybe it's a piece of content or some sort of part of the game's evolution that will come later. No, they already made the loadouts. They already had the clan chat, the matchmaking, the looking for group, and all of this other shit. They just decided to not put it in the game? They have it, and they withheld it from the game.
Yep.
That pisses me off! Why would you do that? Especially for, like, clan chat, general chat, looking for group. That's literally... You already have a fucking chat function. All you did was withhold channels. My god, what is this, basic fucking cable now?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the companion app right now, and I'm like, it's letting me know that we have a loot box at Hawthorne right now, and look, I can look at the roster, and we even have a private clan forum, and look, clan chat right there. I could just type in hello clan. Boom, send.
And you know what's great? Because we haven't actually tested this, so we don't even know if that will pop up in-game or not in our chat box. If it is, you can't reply to it, and if it doesn't, nobody's gonna read the fucking chat messages.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, that's super awkward. Oh well. I guess we can't ask for everything.
Look, I can even look at my milestones. I can look.
We can ask for basic fucking functions.
I mean, there is really good stuff in this companion app.
Yeah, it just should have also been in the base game. Here.
Yeah, like I'm looking right here, and it says, look, I just need 14 more tokens to turn into K to get the next rep level, but
I can't even find that information normally in the game. That is also one of the other things that bothers me. There's so many collectibles and all this other stuff and achievements to unlock and all of that, which is great. That's not what I'm complaining about, but I guess the user interface isn't that user friendly. Like that.
It even gives me a list of all the exotic weapons and which ones I have and which ones I don't.
That's so
like for the Titan, I am only missing 1, 2, 3. No, I'm missing 2 exotics for the Titan: the helmet and the boots, and that's it. I can click on the boots. Look, it says Peacekeepers, which I've been waiting to get forever. It tells me everything I need to know about them. Look, I can click on Skullfort. Look, everything I need to know about it. Jesus Christ, where's this shit in game?
That is extremely irritating. That none of that information is in game. Because I was actually going to ask you earlier when we were playing, because you said something about, if you have this specific exotic, then it makes this other build that we were discussing even better. And I'm like, sweet, what's it do? And you're like, I don't even remember. It was on a YouTube video and they didn't show it. And I'm like, that's okay. I can just go to my collection and look. Wait. If I don't have it in my collection, I can't see it. At all.
Unfortunately, I don't have a hunter, so I can't see it on here. It only will let me see what's available to my characters, which I don't have a hunter, so I can't see the rig boots. But yeah. It also shows me all the emblems I could have, and so let me click on this one. This one looks cool. So, Way of the Wolf emblem, and that's all it tells me. It would be nice if it told me how to get it, but whatever. This is... I can get try the special, the sweet, spicy ramen.
This is extremely funny, considering
Sorry.
This is funny considering we just learned about this, a couple hours ago? Yeah, about that.
So fucking... Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing is that there is no, like, on the Blizzard app, or Battle.net, it doesn't show, like, on the carousel, it doesn't say, hey, there's a companion app that really helps this game, or, highly recommended to play using the companion app. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing!
I mean, give us something.
I didn't even fucking know about this shit. It's...
And for people who are like me and want to really progress, there's another companion app called Lightspeed, which will literally tell you what activities you could do that will increase your light level. So for this one, it's saying I have a milestone, which is the Leviathan, and then it's also telling me that I should do some public event farming because that's going to be the best way to increase my level. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. It also has a loadout thing, so I can create loadouts and push this button and we'll literally load out the character that way. Oh my god.
So anyway,
I love Destiny 2. It's really fun,
it's
but
really
there are
fun,
still
but it
it's
is
not perfect.
extremely, extremely flawed. The gameplay itself is fantastic, but let's move on and talk about other bitchy points. So on my bitchy points side, I originally started as a hunter because I always play a hunter type class in every single game. They are always generally my main that I start with. In WoW, it was a hunter. In Guild Wars, it was a ranger. That's the kind of class that I usually play. Of course, I played with Crimson when I first started, so he was a Titan, and things were great. Like, I was like, I can do damage, and I'm the damage dealer. That's great. I don't really have any survivability, but I'm the damage dealer. Not really. So I started a Titan, because RJ finally got in, and so I was like, well, I'll go ahead and make another character. So me and Crimson made Titans, he made a Warlock, and we ran with that. And I realized that Hunter doesn't seem to have a defined style. Like, all they do is do damage. They do have a subclass that works slightly better in a group, and one that's slightly better in PvP, and one that's okay in PvE generally. But they don't seem to have I don't want to say an overpowered build, but they just don't seem to have a defined style to them. Warlocks have a defined style to them. They're also really, really strong. Titans have a very defined style to them, and they're very, very strong. So I'm finding that I'm actually not caring as much about my Hunter now as much as my Titan. But now that I've got my Titan up too close to where my Hunter is, I'm starting to feel some burnout. And it's not because the game's not fun. I think it's starting to come down to the constant farming, trying to get up to a certain bright level so that I can do other content. Again, gated content is a thing in this game. It is a very big thing in this game. So I've been having some trouble with that, mostly just because I'm like, cool, I'm going to go farm and get better gear, and farming public events. Again, the servers are not populating each instance, so I have a hard time actually completing public events because I'm either by myself or there's 14 people there. There's no real spread. And it's kind of wearing on me. I'm having a ton of fun when we all play together, but I am noticing that the screwing around by myself and just kind of trying to grind out some exotics and stuff like that, I'm not making any progress. I'm getting a bunch of rares that I can't use, and if I get legendaries, they're so under-level that it doesn't matter. And I did end up creating a Warlock today, and I've been messing around with her, and I think that's going to help playing a new class and kind of getting used to another playstyle. But until these expansions come out, or until we can do the raid, or stuff like that, I'm starting to see that the end game isn't much of an end game right now. So I'm hoping that changes, but that's kind of been my experiences with it lately, is that playing through the game has been a lot of fun, playing through it a second time as a different class has been fun, and playing together is really fun, but after you beat the campaign, after you get max level and you start the grind, it starts to taper off. I don't know if you guys have been having that issue. I know Crimson has been grinding a lot more than I have, and RJ, of course, is just now on his first character being max, but...
Yeah, that issue is very predominant, and that leads me into, grind. It is a very grindy game towards the end. There isn't much of an end game right now. Yeah, there's the raid, which you can't just join. There's no real matchmaking for that, but whatever. Most games when they first come out don't have much of an end game, so this is to be expected, and I have faith that it will get there. Bungie's not a bad company at all.
No, definitely not.
They'll get there, but will they lose people in that process? Yes, people will drop off. It's guaranteed. It's, will I drop off? I don't know. I could not. I don't really know. It's just, it is grindy. I know RJ, luckily it hasn't even really started that process yet. So, RJ, what are you seeing right now?
Well, yeah, like you said, I haven't quite got there yet, but I'm starting to see aspects of it. It's like, because I asked you a question a couple hours ago, I was like, all right, so if I want this certain exotic equipment, how do I get that? Oh, I have to go find it through some other in-game content, and then I can level it up, mod it from there. I'm like, oh, okay. So I can see where the grindiness is going to come from, but we still have that raid to do. We still got some strikes. So at least for me, with how much I am able to play compared to you guys for right now, it's the pacing for me is good, but it sounds like you guys are getting. It sounds like hitting that grind super hard and are getting a little bit burnt out, which, that's to be expected with such limited content as we have right now. So I can see where it could go. We'll see how far down that rabbit hole I go. I'm definitely still going to keep playing because I really enjoy this game. So we'll see.
And I completely agree. I've been having a lot of fun with the game, and I think, and I don't want to discourage anybody from playing this or diving headfirst into it, because it's a great game, and I definitely don't want to discourage RJ or anybody, but the thing that I have noticed is that, and Crimson's gonna know what I'm talking about, when we started playing Legion, the last expansion in World of Warcraft, we went into it hard, we went into it as fast as possible, and all we did was went to work, we came home, we played Legion. We went to work, we came home, we played Legion. And it had the same issue of having extremely gated content, and having to grind out rep, and grind out items, and stuff like that. And it was fine for a good while, because we were still exploring new stuff. And I feel like we're headed towards that same spot of we're hitting it, where we're playing it, and we're in that grind right now, and I think that it's just going to get monotonous.
Yep, and the thing that pulled me out of Legion and made me stop playing it was the fact that they didn't have proper matchmaker. If they don't, yep. I'm not a person who's going to go... It's not me. I'm not going to go out and make friends. I don't make friends. If people want to be my friend, they'll come up to me and say, hey, I want to be your friend. I'm never going to go up to somebody and be like, hey, you want to go do this together? It's just not the type of person I am. And it never will be. And so being able to use looking for group tool and jumping right into heroics was great. Then it's all mythics. Oh, well, you're fucked. And then you got a dungeon that is mythic only. And it's like, oh, well, you're fucked unless you can find people. I joined a clan, and half the time it's like trying to get them to go do the mythic. It was more work to get into the fucking Court of Stars than it was to actually do the goddamn Court of Stars.
I had that. Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm done.
Had that same problem. Because we were both in the same guild, of course. And it was fairly populated. I mean, we had a pretty good number of people in there, and they were all really, really nice. The problem is that everyone was on at different times. So even when we would try to get our guild in on Court of Stars or something like that, which has a storyline quest, so the story was actually gated behind that. But we're not going to dive down that right now. We're not going to do that.
I still haven't
done it. We quit. We deactivated our WoW accounts because we couldn't do it. But we had tried several times with our guild to get together to do even other things, like to get that mount in, goddamn, that fucking dungeon, only the penitent achievement. Firelands. Yes. And we tried like 2 or 3 times, and a whole bunch of people were interested, but we were like 1 or 2 people off. Well, then once those couple of people would log on and be like, oh yeah, then the other people would say, I gotta go to work, or I gotta go to bed. And that's been the problem, and I don't want to see that in Destiny, because Destiny being a first-person shooter, one that does not have looking for group or guild chat or anything like that, it's so much harder to get groups together. Now, groups are smaller, you don't need 40 people for a raid, but you do need 6. You don't need 8 to 10 people for Trials of the Nine, but you do need 4. And I think we can get some of that content in, but are we going to be able to do it consistently? And that's kind of been my worry lately is, are we going to be able to complete that raid weekly? Are we going to be able to complete that Nightfall weekly? Or the Trials of the Nine? Or whatever else? Because we're kind of hitting that point where we're seeing the content is gated by social aspects rather than by playtime, skill, or anything else. And I don't like that model. I don't know about how you guys feel, but
yeah, but you could just type in general chat and be like, "Hey, we need one more for Trials." Fuck,
I don't know. Maybe mind. That's a new update for the companion app.
Oh, I get it. It's a joke because there's no general chat. I got it. That's funny. Ha ha ha.
Right? Yeah, that was a good one.
No, it's really not funny. It really makes me just want to cry.
But I am glad to know that I'm not the only one that's kind of seeing these issues, because I know we all are actually having a ton of fun with this game, and we really love the game. But it is nice being able to see the problems, and be able to say, there's some issues that really need to be looked at. And I feel like this social issue with the game of not being able to talk to other people while having content that's gated behind having people without a matchmaker, I think something has to give there. And I hope it does. I hope within the next patch or so they release something like that, because I really want to play more of this content. I'm having a blast. But if it's the same thing over and over again, it's just not going to be as fun.
Yeah, I could definitely see where that's coming down the pipeline. But speaking of new content, they have announced the new expansions, or at least one of them. I think there's 2, because you can pre-order a season pass, and that will give you access to the next 2 expansions. The first one is called The Curse of Osiris, and it has an announcement video to go along with it, which is pretty cool too. So there is some content coming. So we just gotta hold out for that.
Yep. And I hope that it's going to be good content, because, again, I think the only real information that we have currently is a new raid, a new planet. And if that raid is going to have the same issue of not being able to really matchmake, I know there's the guided games thing, but again, that's gated behind a really high power level, so you're going to have to grind.
And a 30-minute wait.
So you're going to have to grind out like a madman, which I have 2 characters that are level 20 that I've been grinding with pretty damn hard, and cue all the jokes, but the issue is I don't even have one character up to 270 yet, because I'm not getting the items I need to upgrade anything. So, and it's gated behind a 280 power level. Plus, again, like Crimson said, probably a 30-minute time, wait time. And if it's going to be a raid and a planet that I can complete in an hour, I don't know if that's worth $17 or whatever, however much they're deciding to charge. So I hope that we're going to get some new stuff. I know there's going to be new items and stuff like that, but as far as story content and actual longevity goes, if it's going to be a high price point for paid content, I really, really hope we get our money's worth on this.
Yeah, the 30-minute wait time also scares me with the server issues, because what if you wait 30 minutes, load into the game, and then 5 minutes in you get kicked? Oops. That's awkward.
Oh.
It's called shit out of luck.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that just fucking sucks.
Yeah, so I think...
And especially if you get in with randoms who you're not going to be able to rejoin or who won't reinvite you.
Yep. It could be interesting. Now, the one thing that I did want to talk about is a build. And this is a Warlock build, and it is insane.
Devour!
It's a Devour build, which means you're going to be using the Void Warlock. What it does is your melee attack, when it kills, or when it hits, I think, just when it hits, it creates Devour. Which at that point, anytime you kill an enemy, it'll reset Devour. And also, you gain all your health back. You are literally playing a mage that is more tanky than a tank. It is insanely good. Also gives you the option to consume your grenade to activate a Devour again. And then there's a exotic that when you kill an enemy, it resets your grenade. So you can have infinite Devour up. So every time you kill something, you're just gaining all your health back. You're almost unkillable in a PvE standpoint. Now, this probably won't work in Leviathan, and it doesn't work in PvP. But holy shit, it's insane.
And there is actually another variant of the Devour where I think it's a set of gloves where every time that you hit with your melee, it increases the damage, and it has like a timer. I think it's like a 10-second timer. So if you keep hitting, and I watched this guy do it on YouTube, and he ended up getting his melee up to 3149 damage or something like that. It's
a lot.
Fucking nuts. So yeah.
Because it was doubling the bonuses too.
Yeah. So, and if you get a quote unquote precision strike with your melee, which you can, it doesn't show up in the bold yellow letters as a crit, but you can crit with your melee. So you can end up doing 7,000 plus damage with this Devourer build in all sorts of different variants. That's the kind of cool thing about it, is that it's so versatile that with this Devour build, you can take it different directions with those individual exotics.
Yeah, the exotics are really good. They really change how you play the characters. They are definitely build worthy, and I do like that aspect of the game and the items on it. I know next week I'll be talking about a striker build that has unlimited grenades, and that'll be fun too.
Yeah, and I've been using that build, and it's actually a ton of fun.
Yeah, well, some of us don't have a skull for it.
Yep. I may not get a lot of loot, but when I get loot, it's good. Cue sad music.
Hang on, let me get my emote out. Some salt.
Much salt.
Well, does anybody have anything else for Destiny
Nope,
2?
I think that's it for now.
Yeah,
I think we just need to go back and play some more Destiny 2.
I know, that's all I want to do right now. So I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. And as always, thank you for listening. And you can always check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com. Keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers. Chat with us on Discord at discord.mediocregamers.com. And we encourage you to check out our YouTube channel, where we post gameplay videos of all sorts. You can find a link on our Facebook page, as well as on the left-hand tab of mediocregamers.com. And we'll post a link in the show notes as well. We are also on iTunes and Google Play, so please go there, download, rate us. That really helps us. Anything you can do on iTunes or Google Play really helps this. I'm Crimson.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm RJ.
Until next time, get out there and play some games.